God uses ordinary people like you and me to do an extraordinary things. Let me tell you about how I was led to Africa, and then God has been giving me the calling to be a missionary. I always thought that I was just an ordinary person, and I never thought that I would become a missionary or pastor. But God led me to Africa. In the previous videos I shared, Africa appeared, and I was led to Gambia. And from Gambia, God led me to Senegal to start a mission school in a small village called Busoa. In Senegal, in the south, there's a Casamance area, and there's a small village where Favre lived. Favre was a rich man. He owns about 100 cows that he draws water from the well, and that was how they fed the water to the cows and the sheep and the goats that he had. Every day he would spend 2 to 3 hours just pumping water manually by hand. And I saw that, and it was amazing. 3 guys would stand at the well, and one person would pull the line, and the other person will pull again, and then third person will pull, and then go on, and the water comes out of the well, and then they will fill the tank with the water. One day Favre came to Gambia, where I was in our mission center. He was asking for advice to find a decent generator and a pump. You know, in a village like this, they listen to the radios, and they found out about how the world goes around, and they knew there was electricity, and there is something called water pump and the generator, and they trusted the missionaries because missionaries will help them. You know, they wouldn't cheat them, so they came to our center for advices on how to find a decent generator and a pump. So we help them. We go out of our ways to take this generator and pump and deliver them into their village, and we connected all the pipes, and guess what? The electricity turned on, and the water pumped out of the well without using any human effort. And it was an exciting time for these Busoa villagers. And the people around the village, they came to see this amazing thing. They have the lights at night, and waters were pumping out, and it was an exciting time for them. And they were so thankful. And the Christmas was coming, and the Muslims knew that Christmas is a big event for Christians and the missionaries, so they wanted to give us a gift. The gift was a cow. They wanted to provide meat for the celebration on Christmas Day. Initially we said, no, thank you, it's okay, we didn't do much. But they insisted to come and get the beef. So we traveled together, a lot of missionaries, and came to their village, Busoa. Busoa is a Muslim village, and around that area everybody is considered Muslims there. And in the village, when we arrived, there were other people from the neighboring villages. They came to see us. For them, many of them, it's the first time they are seeing the foreigner ever before in their life. These are what we call ample mission areas, where there's no access to the gospel. When we came, they killed a cow, and they slaughtered, and they gave us the meat. Besides that, they killed a goat to celebrate arrival of missionaries to their village for the first time. And as we were having lunch and having a wonderful time, the Favre expressed their desire to build a school, Western school, in their village. We told them, if we build a school, it will be a Christian school. And the Favre responded to us saying, we like a Western school. It doesn't matter if it's a Christian school or not. We like a Western school to be built here so that our children may learn English and to be able to have a better life than we had. But at that time, we did not have the manpower to send missionaries there. Our schedules at our center in Gambia operated from 6 a.m. for the prayer meeting, and it lasted until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night for the worship services almost every day. And I was responsible for teaching and discipling at the center. So it was very busy life at the center. However, when we returned back to our center, every time I prayed in the morning, the thought of missions in Busoa village came to my mind, and the children that I met, and it was keep on bothering me. So I went to the head of the missions and told them about what's going on within my heart. And his response was that if God put that heart in your mind, and God put desires in your heart, why don't you go and try? And so I went there alone for the first time, and I expressed a desire to build a school there. It originally was going to be Thursday through Sunday, kind of a weekend school. And I sent them a message saying that I'm coming. And when I arrived, a lot of villagers waited for me. And I stood up and I told them, I came to help you physically and spiritually. To do so, we want to build a school for your children. It will be a Christian school. And these Muslims were divided. Half of them said, no, we cannot have Christian school here. We are Muslims. And the other half said, oh, this is an opportunity from Allah. We need to have the Western school built here so that our children can have a better life than ours. And debate went on for a couple of hours. Finally, village chief stood up and told them, we live such a poor life like this. We never learn to read and write. Let's give an opportunity for our children. And you say you're Muslims, but I know what you do during the night. And it expressed all the, evil things that happen in the villages. During the night, there will be stealing, and there will be adulteries and fornications that goes around, and he just expressed it in one words, or one sentence: I know what you do during the night. So the village chief's last statement made our school to commence. So first thing I did was I picked up a stick under the tree and I wrote down A, B, C, D on the floors. On the dirt floor, I wrote A, B, C, D, and that's how we started our school. Later on, I found out that this was amazing hand of God to start a mission school, Christian school in a village. Because of all the other villages that I visited, no one wanted to have Christians come and build a school in that area. Now, through this ministry, one boy named Idrissa became a pastor, and time to time he sends me an email saying, my spiritual father, and he addresses me and he sends an emails. Now, this is how God led me to the village, and that's how God taught me M4 missions. Now, M4 missions is neglected or ignored, and I think Satan is trying hard to prevent us from going. It is a difficult place to go because there's no running water or electricity. They live in a very primitive setting, and we need to take this gospel to the ends of the earth. To do that, we need to know what M4 missions is. Acts 1:8 talks about that. When the Holy Spirit comes upon you, you shall be my witnesses from Jerusalem, all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. M4 missions is to the ends of the earth. And we need to know that, and Satan will try to prevent us, church, to know this. And we need to focus our eyes on Jesus and to follow him. And he is the one who's leading us to the ends of the earth. And in Busoa village, ordinary person like me learned to do missions there. Ordinary person like me was able to start a school and teaching kids. I remember one boy, he was alone in the classroom. In the classroom, I put a cross in the back, and he actually stood there alone and went to the cross and stood alone, and he stretched his arms like a Jesus on the cross. And when I saw him, I said, that's how Jesus died for you. And most of our students accepted Jesus Christ as a personal Savior and the Lord. Our students, when I asked them, would you go to heaven if today is your last day? And everybody will shout, yes, I will go to heaven. How do you know? I asked them, how do you know for sure that you will go to heaven? And they say, I accepted Jesus Christ into my life. He saved me, and I will go to heaven. Indeed. Now, and for missions, we need to learn more and to go. God is leading us to that. John chapter 20, verse 21 tells us that the Father has sent me, and I send you into the world. Now, beginning of that verse says, my peace, I give you my peace. Peace be upon you. Now, when we have Jesus Christ in our lives, we have peace. And that peace, in all circumstances, when we are at the frontier, mission work in M4 areas, the enemy will try to distract us and stop us from continuing the work. But we need to know, we must know that God is God of peace, and he will lead us to continue on. He gives us the power to continue on. Just like the Father sent Jesus to start the mission. He died on the cross, the crucifixion, and he rose from the dead, resurrection, and that is what Jesus Christ has done for us. And he made 12 disciples and commanded us to go and make disciples of all nations. Now, this is the key of our Christian life. We have a vision. Vision is going and making disciples. Now, a lot of times we focus on going, but rather I believe that we need to focus on making disciples. Disciples is what Jesus made. If you ask me, what did Jesus Christ do on earth? He died on the cross, yes. He raised the dead, yes. He fed the 5,000, yes, indeed. He cast out demons, yes, he did. But most of all these things were done so that he can make disciples. With the 12 disciples that he made, he will continue to lead us to go and make disciples. In the Busoa village, as I made the disciples, and one of them, Idrissa, became a pastor, and the majority of them came to know Jesus Christ. If you and I continue to press on, we will be able to finish the task of reaching every tribe on the face of the earth. Once again, I mentioned to you there are 1581 unreached tribes. So we need 1581 missionaries. Would you be the one who will go and make disciples in places where no one will go? Would you be the one who will pray for this cause? Jesus commands us, so we must. Now, you might say you are an ordinary person. can God use such an ordinary person like me? That's God's specialty. He wants to use you because He's an extraordinary God, and He will do extraordinary things through an ordinary person like you and me. If God can use me, God can use you as well. If you and I want to follow Him. If we follow Him, we will see what God is doing and we will participate in God's work. Now in the Busoa village, God started the school, and then He gave me the calling to be a missionary there. Would you consider praying with me for 1581 tribes and to finish the task with me? God bless you.